So the part two, which is the one that we are doing now, that's saying how many terms are there in the series. So when they say how many terms are there in the series, they basically want n. You know why? Because n represents the number of terms. To those who don't know, n represents the number of terms. You can just write it. I don't know, you can write it somewhere. Represent the number of terms. Always, if you see a number of terms, always you must know that n, it represents the number of terms, and it's question mark. Basically, on this question, when they say how many terms are there in the series, they want us to do what? To determine n, how many terms are there in the series. And then one thing that you need to understand, we come from equation number one. So our equation number one, if you still remember, up there, we got what? R to the exponent of n is equals to 16r, if you still remember. Somehow I wrote this. And then I said equation one. And then now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna say substitute R is equals to our common ratio. We got what? What did you get? 2. Substitute R is equals to 2. Yes. Into equation 1. Into equation number 1. Is there any question? If there's no question, then we're proceeding. So when I'm saying, yes, substitute R is equals to 2 into equation 1, start by making sure that you write what? You write equation 1 series. So that is R to the exponent of n. It's equals to what? 16R. And then, since your R is 2, you're going to say 2, right, to the exponent of n. It's equals to 16. Open bracket, your R is what? Is still 2. You'll say 2. Just like that. So you're going to have something like this. And then after that, you'll say 2 to the exponent of n. It's equals to 16 times 2. That is what?
32.
32. And then now we're going to change 32, write it with the base of 2. So you'll use the fishbone method. Yes, the one that I like to teach. So you'll say 32. You do this aside on the script. You'll say 32 divided by 2. So if you're saying 32 divided by 2, what do you get? You are getting 16. So the 16 that you get, you're going to write it here. You write 16. Then you say 16 divided by 2 as well again. You're going to get 8. That 8, you're going to write it here, right? And then you say 8 divided by 2, you'll get 4. That's 4, you write it here. Then you say 4 divided by 2, you're going to get 2. That 2, you write it here. Then you say 2 divided by 2, you're going to get 1. That 1, you write it there. So this basically means to say, you count how many 2's do you have. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this basically means to say 2 to the exponent of 5 is going to be equals to 32. And then here, this is 2 to the exponent of n. You're going to write 2 to the exponent of n. It's equals to. Then you're going to change that 32 because 32 is the same as 2 to the exponent of 5 based on the fishbone method. So that is going to be 2 to the exponent of 5. And then all of us, we all know that when you arrive here, math says when the bases are the same, you equate the exponent. You see? Then what will be the value of n? It means to say you'll equate the exponent. It will be n is equals to what?
5.
5.
5.
5.
Any question?
No, sir.
Okay. If there's no question, then yeah, that is it. Then we are now proceeding. So I'm teaching you questions which I know that you might come across them in an exam. So this is another example. So I think that is gonna be, you can just say example number 3. So here they're saying the sum of the first n terms, the sum of the first n terms of the series then they now give you the series. The series that they give you, what do they give? They're giving you what? They're actually giving you what? They're giving you 3/4. And then the same plus 3/2. And then plus 3. Plus, they're saying is, it's what? It's 23 and 1/4. And then they're saying what? The question, they say determine n. You see this one? Someone once asked me a question, which is this one. So this one, they want you to determine n, and it's a typical exam question. So you'll get it in an exam, this one. So they're saying the sum of the first n, it represents number of terms of the series because it's plus sign. It's given like that. So now let's write that series in a proper way. So they gave you 3/4. We all know, sharp, that is 3/4. That is 3/4. Then you say plus, and then you are having 3/2. Cool. Plus, plus 3, plus. So now that is a mixed fraction. You'll say 23 and 1/4 in the calculator. Tell me what you get. So it's the same as you saying 4 times 23 plus 1/4. 4 times 23.
93.
93. 4 times 23, it's 93.
Plus 1.
It gives you 93. Okay, let's try to edit. I'm not sure if
92. It gives 92.
92. Let me double check. So that's 23.
Then plus 1.
23. 23 as well as 23. 3, 6, 9, 12. 2 carry 1. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. 92 plus 1. So it means to say here, we're having 93.
Yes, 92.
So it will be 93/4, guys. You always divide by that denominator. So that's what basically you are having. And then you having that, you must not forget, because they're saying the sum of the first n terms of the series they give you, and then they say determine n. So it simply means to say here they want n. N is question mark, the number of terms. Number of terms is how many terms are there. Ne? Sharp. And then that 23 and 1/4, it represents what? It represents Sn. So you will now write and say Sn, it's equals to what? 23 and 1/4. 23 and 1/4, which is also equals to what? 93/4. That's your second part. And then we also have A. A is also equals to T1. You all know is given there. That is 3/4. You write 3/4. And get.
Sorry, sir.
Yes? Can I ask?
How did you calculate the 93/4?
93/4. It's a matter of you doing what?
Yes.
Pressing 23 and 1/4 on the calculator, then it gives you 93/4. Or if you don't know that, you can do it like this. And get is 23 and 1/4. I was taught in lower grade that you say 4 times 23 plus 1, then you divide by 4. So 4 times 23 is 92 plus 1, it gives you 93. And then you divide by this denominator, which is 4. So that's how I got it. Understand?
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Then now
Yes, sir.
okay. Now we are proceeding. We are left with determining R. So now let's determine R. So R, remember, is T2 over T1. And then your T2 is 3 over 2. You might as well write it like this. T2 is, it's what? It's 3 over 2. So you might well as write it like this, 3 over 2. And then since it's divide by, you can just put that divide sign. You're not going to be wrong. It's made. And then what is term number 1? Term number 1 represents the first term, which is T1, which is 3 over 4. You say 3 over 4. So you can punch this on the calculator, or you do it as in like you writing 3 over 2. And then you now know that after you write 3 over 2, math says, this is 2. Math says when you have a division sign, introduce a multiplication sign, and you do the reciprocal. That is going to be 4 over 3. So here, without wasting of time, the answer we know is going to be 2. How did I get 2? I didn't guess. How did I get 2? You know that 3 cancels 3. Then you'll be left with 4 divided by 2, which is going to be 2. So it simply means to say here, your common ratio, you are going to get 2. Are you all with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Yes. And then after that, since our R is 2, and they're saying the sum, and this is it's a geometrical series, then you'll choose either one of the two formulas, and then I'm going to show you how do you get the correct formula. Now remember, we're having those two formulas. Sn is equals to a into r to the exponent of n minus 1 all over r minus 1. So this one, you use it when r is bigger than 1, right? We also have another one that says Sn is equals to, then that will be a into 1 minus r to the exponent of n, close bracket, over 1 minus r. So this one, use it when r is a fraction, the likes of 1 over 2, 1 over 5, 1 over 3. Use it when r is less than 1. But mind you, that's based on what you got here. R being 2, you can actually see that 2 is going to be bigger than 1. So it simply means to say this is the correct formula that I'm going to use, because r is bigger than 1. So 2 is bigger than 1. Then you knowing that, then you write that formula down. So this simply means to say we're going to use this formula that says Sn is equals to a into r to the exponent of n minus 1 all over r minus 1. So that is the formula that one will use, right? And then after that, it's a matter of you now substituting. Remember your Sn we got, was it 93 over what? 93 over 4.
Over 4.
Yes. In the place of Sn, we write 93 over 4. 93 over 4 is equals to, what is the value of a? That is 3 over 4, if you still remember.
Yes, sir.
3 over 4, open bracket. Our r is 2, right? So that will be 2 to the exponent of n. You know why? Because you are looking for n. Then you say minus 1 all over r minus 1. That is going to be, r is 2, you subtract 1. So this basically means to say you're going to have 93 over 4. It's equals to, so that will be 3 over 4 into 2 to the exponent of n minus 1. So when you arrive here, there is something that is very important. We are solving for n. And get, you start by writing, let me show you. 93 over 4 is equals to 3 over 4 into 2 to the exponent of n minus 1. So now when you solve for n, the first thing that you must do, you must multiply both sides by the reciprocal. You multiply by the reciprocal of 3/4, which is going to be 4/3, both sides. Multiply by 4/3 because math says what you do on the left-hand side to also do it on the right-hand side. And then from there...
Excuse me, sir.
Yes?
What happened to 2 minus 1?
2 minus 1 is still there.
On the third line there.
Oh, yeah. It's a good question. So 2 minus 1, you all know that you're going to get 1. So even if I didn't write over 1, I know that it's not going to affect me. 1, it doesn't have effect. Did I answer you? Did I answer you? 2 minus 1 is 1.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I understood.
Sure. So from here, 4 cancels 4, 3 cancels 3. On this side, to the left, with what? 2 to the exponent of n minus 1. And then 4 cancels 4. Here you're left with 93/3. 93/3. And then after getting 93/3, you take 1, transpose it on the other side. Or before that, what is 93/3? Yeah, I think it's divisible. Let's start there. And get this is like this. That is 93, what I wrote there, over 3 equals to 2 to the exponent of n minus 1. Yes?
If you can multiply the 3/4 inside the bracket, is the answer going to be wrong?
You are saying what?
If you can multiply
Yes.
the 3/4 inside the bracket, is it going to be wrong?
Yeah, it's going to be wrong because now, remember that n is sitting on the exponent part. And before you multiply inside the bracket, you must get rid of those numbers. That's why I'm multiplying both sides. Because math says what I do on my left-hand side, I also do it on the right-hand side. Because if you're going to multiply throughout first, then it's going to be a challenge. Ne?
Yes, sir. Okay, if then you divide by the 3/4 both sides, is it going to be wrong again?
Okay. If you divide by 3/4, you might get the correct answer, but you are violating math rules because math says we avoid having many division signs. That's why normally, look at that, it was 3/4. So if I'm going to divide by 3/4, yes, I know that most of you were taught like that. You might not be wrong, but you are violating math rules because you are actually not allowed to do that. It's kind of like me giving you like this. Let me show you something. It's kind of like me giving you 2/3, and then I say divide by 2/3 again. Do you see? I'm not allowed because, but actually you're gonna get the correct answer. Though really, most people, 99% of people who might be listening to me on the session, they might be doing that. You are not wrong, but you must stick to the right principles. But yeah, you can also divide by that, then it's fine. So what is 93 divided by 3?
31.
31.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
31 is equals to, then yeah, now it makes sense. You'll say 2 to the exponent of n minus 1. So the next step that you are going to do, you're gonna take -1 that side, then it changes the sign. I get it. Then it will be 31, and then it changes the sign from negative to positive. Then it will be plus what? Plus 1. It's equals to 2 to the exponent of n.
2 to the power n.
Yes, then that will be 32. It's equals to 2 to the power of n. If you want to write it properly, you can just write it and say 2 to the power of n, it's equals to 32. And then you're going to change that 32 using the fishbone method, writing it with the base of 2. Let's do that.
Yeah, we did it. Okay.
5.
Okay, 2 to the exponent.
2 to the power of 5.
That is going to be 2 to the power of 5. Now you know. And then Met says, when the base are the same, you equate the exponents. Then it means to say, therefore, n is equals to 5. So if they ask you a question to say, determine n, you understand that n is equals to 5. So it means to say 5 terms, they add up to that summation of 23 and 1 over 4, which is going to be 93 over, I forgot, it was 93 over something. It was 93 over 4. So it means to say 5 times, since n is equals to 5, it simply means to say the sum of those 5 times, if you were to add them, you will get them as a value of 93 over 4. Any question, guys?
No question.
No question. Then, if there's no question, then yeah, I believe we've covered most of the things. And then let me just check. So let me check. So yeah, this one. Let's do this one. I think after this one, all of you will be now fine. But though there's still some of the things under sequences and series that I need to cover. The ones of convergence and divergence. You see, then if I can cover that, then I know that I'm done. So now let's say okay, let me just try to write it here. That is gonna be, let's say, example number 4. They're saying given 2, x, y, 9, then they're saying full stop. So that's what actually are given. And then they're saying what? They're saying the first 3 terms form an arithmetic progression. Let's move ourselves, and the last 3 terms, form a. This one is interesting. Geometric progression. If you can understand this one, I know that you're good to go. Determine the values of x and y. And then they say, the question is like, determine the values of x and y. It's an interesting question, this one. That's saying 6 marks. Who can give us a hint? Though I'm gonna teach you now, I know what you are supposed to do. Let's say you are there in an exam, they give you something like that. They're saying given 2x, y, and 9. Then they say the first 3 terms form an arithmetic progression. So don't forget, arithmetic progression simply means to say it's an arithmetic sequence. And the last 3 terms form a geometric progression. So a geometric progression, it's a geometric sequence. We are finishing just now. Ne? I don't want to keep you long. And then, so when they give you something like this, when they're saying the first 3 terms form an arithmetic progression. So arithmetic progression, you understand that is going to be a what? An arithmetic sequence. So, yes, they're saying the first 3 terms, you write them aside. So that is going to be the first 3 terms, that is going to be 2x and y. So if they're saying first three terms form an arithmetic progression. So this basically means to say it's an arithmetic sequence. Arithmetic progression, it's arithmetic sequence. Right? And then you know that that is going to be what? That is going to be T1. That is going to be T2. That is going to be T3. And then they also told us that the what? The last three terms form a what? Or before that. Now you understand that with regards to an arithmetic sequence, we have a common difference. So how do you get common difference? Say T2 minus T1. We're going to find the second row, the 2a plus b plus c. No, this is what you're going to do. Let me show you. You'll say T2 minus T1, it's equals to what? T3 minus T2. Then from that, what is your T2? That is going to be x minus T1 is 2. It's equals to T3 is going to be y minus T2 is going to be x. Do you see? And then from there, this is going to be x. Then I'm taking that negative, that side is going to be plus x minus 2 is equals to y. So x plus x, we all know that we're going to get 2x minus 2 is equals to y. And then from here, you can write it properly mathematically and say, therefore, y is equals to 2x minus 2. So this basically means to say it will be your equation number 1. And then you go back again. And get they told you that the first three terms, they represent arithmetic sequence. And then they told you that the last three terms, they represent the geometric sequence. Ne? The last three terms, they represent the geometric sequence. You're going to use what? X, y, and 9. So here we're going to use x, y, and 9. So they told you about geometric. Geometric sequence. So since now it's a geometric sequence, and then they said this is the last three terms, you're going to take the last three terms of that sequence, that is x, comma, y, comma, 9. Just like that. And then don't forget that this is T1, that is T2, that is T3. Then since this is geometric, we now find the common ratio. How do you get common ratio? Common ratio is T2 over T1 equals to T3 over T2. And then from there now you substitute. Your T2 it's going to be y, all over T1 is going to be x. It's equals to your T3 that is going to be 9 over T2 that is going to be y. It's an interesting one, this one. And then from here you cross multiply. Y times y, you get y squared. It's equals to 9 times x, 9x. So that will be your equation 2. So let me rewrite equation number 1 here because that time I wrote it just up there. I want to use it as well. So remember our equation 1, we got what? We got y. It's equals to what? It's equals to 2x minus 2. So that was our equation 1. So those who didn't see it, let me show you. There you go. You can see the equation 1 is 2x minus 2, just like that. So since equation 1 is in terms of y, so I'm gonna say substitute equation 1 into equation 2. Substitute equation 1 into equation 2. So this simply means to say I'm going to start by equation 2. Y squared is equals to 9x. Then you write y squared equals to 9x. Then in the place of y from equation 1, since y is equals to 2x minus 2, I'm going to write 2x minus 2, then you square it. It's equals to 9x. Then from here you expand. That will be 2x minus 2. And then 2x minus 2. Then you say equals to 9x. Now you solve. 2x multiplied by 2x, that's going to be what? 4x squared.
4x.
Then 2x times minus 2, that's minus 4x.
4x.
And minus 2 times 2x, that is going to be minus 4x. And then negative times negative,
34.
positive. 2 times 2 is 4. It's equals to, then you write 9x. Any question? Okay. Then you say 4x squared minus 4x, that's negative 8x. Then you take positive 9, that side changes the sign to become minus 9x. And you say plus 4 plus 2, 0. So we'll factorize. If you don't know how to factorize, use quadratic formula. So that is going to be 4x squared minus, I think that's 17. Yes. It should be minus 17. Minus 17x plus 4 equals to 0. So from here you factorize or use quadratic formula. Those who are in our league of factorizing, the factors it will be 4x minus 1. Don't feel offended. You can use quadratic formula, you still be correct. Né? The one that I normally teach on TikTok, x minus 4, it equals to 0. So those are your factors. And then from there, don't forget to say, you're going to say 4x minus 1. Minus 1 is equals to 0. Or x minus 4 is equals to 0. Then you say 4x is equals to negative 1. You transpose it that side, changes the sign to become positive. So that's 1. Then after that, you divide both sides by what? By 4. Because men says what you do on the left hand side, also do it on our right hand side. 4 cancels 4. Therefore, the value of x is going to be equals to 1 over 4. Then x is equals to 4. But mind you, you are not done. Now you got the values of x. X is equals to 4. Now you got the values of x. Right? Then you will say substitute x is equals to 1 over 4 into what? Into equation 1. For you to get what? For you to get 1. Yes. So here you will say substitute x is equals to 1 over 4 into equation number 1. So what is equation number 1 if you still remember? It was y is equals to 2x minus 2.
2x minus 2.
Yes. Then it will be y is equals to 2. In the place of x, I put 1 over 4. Let's say minus 2. What do you get?
Negative 3 over 2.
Negative
3 over 2.
Yeah, correct. The negative 3 over 2. And then you also say substitute the other x. Substitute. What was that? Let's see. The value of x. Substitute x equals to 4. Yes. Substitute x is equals to 4 into equation 1. into equation 1.
Yes.
Equation 1 is y is equals to 2x minus 2. You say y is equals to 2 into the value of x is 4 minus 2. Therefore, the value of y is 2 times 4 is 8 minus 2, which is going to be equals to 6. Which is going to be equals to